What's up, Vibers? If you are like me, starting out from zero experience, this is going to be the video for you. I am learning to code from scratch. I'm 50 years old. In this video, I'm going to keep getting older, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm learning, and I'm learning from experts from around the world on how to code and some of the best practices in AI, the trends, all of that. You can follow along right here on Gitavibe on YouTube or gitavibe.com. You can see everything there. My goal in this video is to teach you how to download Cursor, Node.js, and Angular. Those are the platforms I'll be using because the people that I follow are using these. You may have your own version of that, like VS Code or some other IDE or CLI. And I'm even learning what those mean, and I don't know what they mean. So hang tight, because in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the messy part of just getting Cursor set up on your website or on your computer, and also installing Node.js and Angular. I'll walk you through that as messily as I can. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is download Node.js. So I'm going to pull up my screen here, and let me add that in so you can see it. So when you go to node.js.org, you're going to want to download the latest LTS version. So you'll see that right there. So you go to node.js.org and download. So you'll see a green button at the top. Actually, I'm going to remove my banners so that you can see that. So let me just turn that off. So right at the top here, you'll see downloads, and then version 22.21 is the latest version of the LTS for me right now. Downloading it in Windows. I just left these the same. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. So maybe in the comments you can tell me if there's a better way to do this. But I downloaded that and got that installed on my computer and ready to go. The next thing I did was to download Cursor. Now I went with just a free account here, and the reason I did that is because I don't have enough knowledge yet to really use the advanced features on Cursor. I just wanted to get to know it. So I downloaded Cursor for Windows. That's what I'm using as a Windows system. And then Angular actually walks you through. If you go to angular.com, or what I do is I go to Google and say, how do you install Angular? How do you install Node.js? And here's the cool thing about Cursor is it will actually help you. I'm going to show you that. So here are the steps that Angular says you should follow to download the latest version. So the first thing you have to have is Node.js. So you click there. They've even got a link right there in Angular. They make it easy. And then you need your visual, editing or your coding platform. So I'm using Cursor for this. And the reason I like it is because of the AI interaction that it has on there. So for somebody like me that's learning from scratch, I need that AI interaction. And I'll show you as we go through this. I don't always know what I'm doing, so I'm going to ask AI a lot. The terminal is going to be through Cursor. That's what we're going to use. And the Angular tools, I found those here. So when you go into Cursor, after you get it all downloaded, it's going to look a lot like this. Now I have my first project in there from Angular. It actually walks you through how to build an application real quick. But the first thing that I did is I kind of got comfortable with these menu items up top. And so if you go to, let me turn this off to this QR code. So if you click that QR code, it takes you to the YouTube channel. But right at the top, you'll see File, and you go down to Preferences, and you go to Cursor Settings, and I just made sure that everything looks good there. And then you'll notice on the right-hand side, you've got a chat feature. There's a little three-dot menu there. I click that and set my chat settings. So I'm in the space of learning, so I turned my default mode from agent to ask. And so that allows me to ask questions. So I can go in here after I've got Cursor installed. I can say, how do I install Node.js? And this is something that I learned here is you can slow down and ask it questions, and it's going to walk you through right here on the right-hand side how to install Node.js. Now there's an allow list right here, a drop-down where you can just have it run everything, or you can create an allow list, or you can have it ask you every time if you want it to run that code. For me, where I'm learning, I use the allow list, And actually in the beginning, I did run everything so that it just did it for me. But if you're trying to learn it, this would be a good way to slow down and see what Cursor is doing as it sets this up. So we need to have a terminal. The way you find a terminal here, the way I'm doing it, maybe there's an easier way, is I go to View, Terminal. So you can do Control plus apostrophe, I think is what that is right there. So I click on that. That shows up a terminal right here. The way this is structured is I can either copy this and paste it in here, or you can't really see it, but you can run it right here and it'll run it for you. So this is the cool thing about Cursor, is that it'll actually do the steps for you while you're learning. To me, that's super useful. And so it's going to check the version. Let's see here. Yeah, my screen isn't quite big enough here to see everything. So let's try this. So if I go in here and type npm and then -- version, it should show me which version of npm I've got on there, or node. This is weird. I don't know what 10.93 says, but it says right here that I do have version 22.2 installed. And so now how do I install Angular, right? Because I want to use Angular as my programming language, just because it's pre-built with all these features. And I've got some videos that talk about what Angular is and how to use it. So if I type into my terminal ng version, it should pull up my Angular version if I've already downloaded it. Yeah, and it's got it all in there. So it shows me that that's all installed. Now up here, you can actually, what I did is I went to extensions and found the Angular extension in there and installed that. And then I also installed Prettier Code Formatter. I don't even know what that does, but it sounded cool. And a lot of people downloaded it, and it's got high ratings. So I think that's fairly safe. This Angular language service has 1.1 million downloads plus, 4-star ratings. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. Somebody else might have a better way of doing this as far as getting you launched. But the hardest part for me was figuring out, like, how do I even get into using Angular inside of Cursor? So you can see across the top here, you're going to have tabs that are going to open up as you use them. So when you go into File Preferences, it's going to show you a tab there. To get out of it, you're just going to exit right there. Your terminal is going to show up at the bottom. That's where you're going to enter your code. Or if you're like me, you can just use the chat feature that they have inside of Cursor to learn even more. And so what this is going to do is, after Cursor is downloaded, I pin it to my menu or my bar here so that I can quickly access it. And then the one thing I had to do is find my folders. So it actually put it under my user account, and it created my first Angular app for me. So the cool thing about Angular is that it will actually walk you through building your first application. And so all of these, let's see. So right here, it's asking me, would you like me to help you with anything specific regarding your Angular project? As you saw when we came in, I had an Angular project already uploaded and ready to go that I was going to work on. But I just really wanted to show you how easy it is to install Node.js and Angular into your Cursor. Or if you're using VS Code, there might be a few more steps, but I'm not going that route. I'm actually going to use Cursor. So there's probably some tutorials online that you can grab to go through VS Code. But for now, we're going to do this. And the reason I love this is that with Cursor, even on a free account, and I can always upgrade, is that I can go through and just ask the AI to help me do it all. Like, how incredible is that? Now, the next step here for me is to just make sure that everything's installed properly. So I just went through and said, hey, do I have Node.js installed? If not, will you help me? So knowing how to ask questions is a big thing, especially when you're beginning. And so do that. Ask a lot of questions. Turn your feature over on the chat settings to the ask versus agent. And you can always switch that back at any time. And that'll help you to really get things set up properly. So that's where I'm going to end this video, is, just refreshing here. You want to go download Node.js, go download Cursor. if you haven't done that already, do the free account, and then have Angular walk you through. They've got a ton of tutorials and everything in here to help you get set up. And that's the first step, is you got to get set up. So for me, I'm using Cursor, I'm using Angular and Node.js. And so far, that's all I've got. There will be more as we move forward here, but I look forward to hearing your thoughts and questions, or if you have ideas on how I can do this even better, post those in the comments. So appreciate you. Go make it a giant day. I'll see you in the next video.